All right. Good morning, everybody. Yesterday was the last Blat or Amud Rosh Hashanah. So we'll start with that.
Is this a Romans? Let's go.
So we had a machlokas from a Mishnah regarding the Shtech Tzibur being Yaitse, the Tzibur, or whether individuals have to be Yaitse themselves. So as machlokas in Rabbi Gamliel and the Rabbanan. Rabbi Gamliel said, just reading back to the Mishnah, he says, Shtech Tzibur Maitzi as a Rabbi Yudei Chavasim. Rabbi Gamliel says the Shtech Tzibur is Maitzi as a Rabbi Yudei Chavasim. So then there was a machlokas as to whether the Rabbanan were Moida, whether the Rabbanan agreed with Rabbi Gamliel, and whether the Shtech Tzibur is Yaitse their Tfilos. So some say he was, and some say they were, and others say they weren't. So Shama Rabbi Chia, that's where we left off. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines for the last, from the bottom, last word. So Shama Rabbi Chia Bereit Rabbi Nachmani. So Rabbi Chia Bereit the Rabbi Nachmani. Also, morning. All right. So Azul Amre the Shmaitza. So they heard that he went and he said over this limud Kame before the Rav Dimi Bar Chinana. So Amrle Hachi Amarav Adayin Hi Machlokas. It's still a Machlokas. It's still a disagreement. The Rabbanan say that the Shtech Tzibur is not Maitzi the Rabbi. And Amrle Rechana Nami Hachi Kamar. Right. This is also what was said.
It sounds like the Shaliach Tzibur stops in the middle of the Shemona Esrei and is okay.
So. Right, but this is just talking about regarding the brachos itself, not regarding the brachos itself, and not regarding the tkiyos. Right, we're just talking strictly regarding the tefillah, whether he might see them for their tefillos. In other words, they don't even have to say the tefillos. So Gemara says, "No, so when he said this, so Aflika led Reish Lakish, and Reish Lakish argued, "Gemara dain him machlokes." It's still machlokes. They were in Moda. Gemara says, "Now umi Amar Rabbi Yochanan hafi," and did Rabbi Yochanan indeed say this? V'ha Amar Rabbi Chana Tzipor Amar Rabbi Yechon Hilchasa Rabbi Gamliel. So he says the halach is like Rabbi Gamliel. Now, if you say halach is like Rabbi Gamliel, Hilchasa Michlal Depligi. So you can infer from there that they still argue, right? In other words, that they're still. In other words, the Rabbanan were never moida to Rabbi Gamliel, because if they were, then you wouldn't have to declare halach like Rabbi Gamliel. So it seems like it's the machlok. So we just go like Rabbi Gamliel that the Shtech Tzibur we might see the Tzibur. So the Gemara answers, turn the page. So Kisali, Rabbi Abba, maybe when I guess he came up from the water, from the seas, from traveling, Pirush explained. When either Rabbanan the Chamim Ma'ideh Gamliel that the Shtech Tzibur might see the individual, that's when it comes to Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. But halacha mechal depligi, and that which we say we declare the halacha is like Gamliel mechal depligi. In other words, they still argue is the brachas the Kol Hashanah. That's regarding the brachos of the entire year. The other Shemona Esrei throughout the other tefillos throughout the entire year. So Gemara says, "Aini, is that true?" The halach is like Gamliel when it comes to the brachos of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim, meaning that the Chachamim argue also in that case. I mean, both cases the halach is like Rabbi Gamliel, right? That he can be mitzi the tzibur, right? But it seems to be that we have to say the halacha is like a Gamliel in both places, which would be that they're arguing. So Ella Amarav Nachman Bar Yitzchak Man Maidim. Rather, who is this opinion they say is Maidim? That is Rabbi Meir. The halacha mechal the pligi Rabbanan. In other words, the Rabbanan are always arguing in this case. The Rabbanan always say no. Each individual has to be for themselves. Who is the one who agrees that sometimes that would be Rabbi Meir? The Tanagon and Brisa brachos of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim Shtech Tzibur Maitzi HaRabbi Yudei Chavasim. When it comes to the brachos of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim, right? Rosh Hashanah, we spoke about the brachos of Machas, the Chronos, and Shofros, Yom Kippurim. So the Shtech Tzibur is Maitzi the Rabbim Yudei Chavasim. Divi Rabbi Meir, that's the opinion of Rabbi Meir. Chavim Mairim Kashem Shtech Tzibur Chayim. Just like the Shtech Tzibur is Chayim to do his own tefillah. Kach Kol Yachiv Yachiv Chayim. So to each individual is obligated to go ahead and do the tefillah. And my Shnahani, why is Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur different? So if it's because we bring in many psukim, You don't actually have to say all the psukim. You can just say, right? We know machias ubesar second kasuv lemor as it's written in your Torah. You don't have to say what is written in the Torah. You say as it's written in the Torah, blank, a very hard statement, and that's mitzi. So you don't need. So you can't say it's because the person needs to know all the psukim, and then since he doesn't know that shtech tzibur is mitzi him, well, no, because you don't even need to know the psukim as yachid. You can just say kasuv lemor. So el mishum davishi brachos, rather because the brachos themselves are still long and and difficult, and since they're long and difficult, so therefore that's a reason in itself why the shech tzibur could be mitzi. Why Rav Meir holds that Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur are different when it comes to being mitzi the tzibur and gufa. So once you say you don't have to say anything further, right? And that's all referred to yachid about tzibur low. But when it comes to the tzibur, then you have to say all the psuk. So Gemara says, actually, it would have been a good thing to know during the COVID, right? You know, they want to minimize the amount of tefillah, so we could have even minimized more here, right? Even skipping, you don't have that say all the psuk in the Shemona Esrei, right? So tzibur low. So Itamar. Rabbi Shimon Levi, Echad Yachid and Echad Tzibur, right? Whether it's Yachid or whether it's Tzibur, Kevan Sha'ama B'Sarasach Kasuv Lemor Shuv Ein Tzarich. If you say B'Sarasach Kasuv Lemor, you don't have to say all the psukim, right? We bring three from Torah, three from Vim Ksuvim. You don't have to bring all those. And Amar Rabbi Yasser Yadam Yasdir Adam Tfilasai V'Acharkach Yispal. A person should always be Masader, right? He should organize his tfilos first and then be mispal. And all right, and in other words, an example of that is when we say the silent Amida, right? So the Sheikh Sibor says it then, and he also repeats it, which says it out loud. So during that time, he's Masader his tefillos. And Amar Rabbi Abba, Mistaver Milsa Rabbi Elazar B'Brachos Shel Rosh Hashanah B'Shem Kippurim B'Shel Prakim. Right? It's logical to say that these words of Rabbi Elazar is referring to the tefillos of Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and B'Shel Prakim and Yantif. About the Kol Hashana, but rather regarding the entire year, no, that really there is no requirement. So, Aini, is that true? Rav Yehuda Masader Tzilusei. Rav Yehuda was Masader Tzilusei Matzli, right? He used to go ahead and I guess be Masader his tefillos first, and then he would daven afterwards. I guess when he got for the tzibur. So the Gemara says no. Shani Rav Yehuda is different. Kevan the mitlasan yamin havi masli kiprakim dami. Since he used to go ahead and learn Kol Torah Kula every 30 days. So therefore he was involved, right? And he was actually potter from tefillah. He wouldn't daven during those 30 days. So therefore every 30 days when he would daven, it would be like kaprakim. It would be like a tefillah, which isn't said all the time, such as that of Yom Tov. And Amar Rav Acha bar Ravira, Amar Rav Shimon Chasida, Paiter Hayar and Gamliel Afilu Am Shabasadais. Velomi Boyhani the Kaimi. So he says Rabbi Shimon Chasida that those people out in the fields, right? They had to go to work. They couldn't be in the Beis HaKnesses. So the Sheikh Tzibur would be mitzi them, right? And certainly you don't have to mention you be mitzi those in the Beis HaKnesses. So even the people that didn't go to shul, they were mitzi their tefillah, their yated tefillah, because people of their community would go ahead. The Sheikh Tzibur would daven on their behalf. So Gemara says, Adarabba, fakir. What do you mean? Hani anisi. Maybe you can say the ones. How could you say that people in the fields are mitzi, and certainly the ones in town are mitzi? Maybe you could say a different argument. Hani, and you see those people have to go to work. They have no choice. They have to be on the fields at 4 a.m. So of course they're honest, right? There's nothing else they can do. So of course they can fulfill their obligation with a sheikh tzibur. But those in town, right, who maybe who either go to shul or don't even go to shul, right? Lo anisi, right? Those people aren't forced. Right, or they don't have to be somewhere else. Maybe they have to do their own tefillah. Maybe they can't be mitzi to their tzibur. The Tanya, as you learn, the Tanya Abba Bereder of Binyamin Bar Chia, Am Shecharei Kohanim, right? The people that are behind the Kohanim, Einan Bechlal Bracha, they cannot be included in the bracha, right? In other words, when they, I guess when the Kohanim bless them, right? So the people that don't come to be blessed, they're not included in the blessing, right? It's only that the people that come before the Kohanim, right? So you could say, only the people that come in front. So if you have the opportunity to be in front and you're not in front, it shouldn't be included. So I guess maybe we'll stop here for the Siyam whenever we do make the Siyam, Mr. Shem. So we'll figure that out. Usually Avrami is our CM coordinator. We'll have to figure it out. Yeah, exactly. We can do it together. Yeah.
It's not like we didn't have 40 days to prepare.
Yeah, but now you got 30 days.
You know what?
So now is next Masechta is Masechta Tainus. And we do have a minion here, right? We got a minion, right? Yeah, okay.
All right, 31 days to
Nah.
prepare.
Here, take this chair. We're just discussing. We already started. Yeah, right here. You go. You got your chair right here. This chair. All right. Yeah. Start late. We change it. We're doing everything. We're changing the clocks. We start later. We get people.
Maybe he could do both. I don't know.
All right. So we got a. You need a tinus?
Are you here?
I just put right now. Want the? No. All right. All right. So the second tinus. Why is this after Rosh Hashanah? We'll see in the Gemara. Actually, it's a good order. Right. Actually, what does it have first in those? Is it tinus first in that one or no? No, it's not first. No. Okay. All right.
First.
So Meimesai Maskirin Gvurus Geshamim Zakti the Mishnah Beis Amud Aleph today's block. So Meimesai Maskirin Gvurus Geshamim. When is one Maskir Gvurus Geshamim? Right, as Rashi says, Shaimer Mashiv Haruach Umarida Gash. Right, for one to go ahead and mention, as we do in a Shmon Esrei, Mashiv Haruach Umarida Gash, and then should that the ruach the wind should blow, and then it should rain. The rain should come down. So Rabbi Eliezer Aimer Miyot Tov Harishon Shochad. Says Rabbi Eliezer from the first day of Yantif of Sukkot. First day of Yantif of Sukkot. Rabbi Shua Omer, Yantif Achron Shachag. No, not the first day of Sukkot, rather the end of Sukkot. Shmini Atzeres. And Omar Lo Rabbi Yeshua. And Rabbi Yeshua says, as we learned B'chag Lamu Maskir. As we learned in Masechas Sukkah, that if it rains, right, on actually the Mishnah over there, if it rains on Sukkah, it's a simon klala. It's not a good simon, right? It's like a master asks his Evan bring him water, takes the keton shamayim and he splashes him in the face. So right, so you tell us to go out sit in the Sukkah, and all of a sudden you make it rain. We got to go inside, right? So it's not a good simon klala. So why mention it, right? Why ask for rain before so it rains on Sukkah? Mentioned the last day after the mitzvah sukkah is over. So I'm going to learn Rebbe Eliezer. So says Rebbe Eliezer, I didn't say Mishael, right? Rather lahaskir, maskir, right? It may even say maskir in Gusasham, right? Lahaskir, mashi baruch miragasham banos, right? During its time. It's rain in its proper time. We begin to be maskir, and now that it's rain in its proper time. So you can maskir at the beginning of Sukkot. So I'm going to learn maskir. Right. So if that's the case, so you're saying it's maskir even during a bad time is no big deal. Okay, so we should just mention it forever, right? Say that let it be a permanent part of the Shemona Esrei. Saying Shalom as a maskir Elo Samach Geshavim. We don't ask for the Geshavim, only close to the Geshavim. So since it's a little bit, it's coming to be time for the rain, then we'll be maskir at first for a period of time before we'll be shoyal. And Rabbi Huda and Rabbi Huda says, one who gets up and the Shtech Tzibur and Shmini Atzeres and Yontav Achron Shochag. So Ha'achron Maskir, Harishin Maskir. The Achron, so there's Shachris and there's Musaf. So the Achron, the one who davens Musaf, right? He's Maskir. He mentions Mashiv Aruach Abrid Agoshem, but the Rishon, the Baal Shachris, does not, which is what we do nowadays, right? We go ahead, we do Geshem. Right before Musaf, beyond Harishon Shal Pesach, and when it comes to opposite of ending it, right? When it comes to the Yontav Harishon Shal Pesach, the first day of Pesach, Harishon Maskir, the Baal Shachar still mentions Mashi Baruch Migashem, Ba'achron in the Maskir, but the Baal Musaf, because we do Talved, he does not. He's a Maskir. Fine, that was the mission. So Zok the Gemara Tana Heichakai, the Tani Beimisah. So we're asking from where is the source, From when are we masking? When do we mention Mashi Baruch Amerigash? Right? So the Gemara wants to know, where are you coming off of mentioning it? How do we know you even say it? Like you're asking for when do you do it? Well, how do you know you do it? Right? So where are we going on? This is the beginning of the Masechta, right? There's no previous blat. So Tana Emisai. So Tana Hasam. No, we're going which was written over there. Diktani Maskirnik was like Shem Tchias Mason. We mentioned the tefillah, the bakasha of Gurus Gesham during Tchias Mason, right? Which is when we do it during that time. The Sholim Berachas Hashanim, and then we were shoyal for the rain during Berachas Hashanim. Right, when we say the saying Talamatali Bracha, right? But Havdalah, and we do Havdalah b'Chanan Das, right? So those we learn over there, right? In Mesechus in Brachos, right? We learn those halachas there, and we're talking about that, right? And now we say Victoria Emisai Maskirin was a Geshamim. So, and therefore we write, okay, now that which we say, your maskir, and now we want to know from when, right? What date? So I released Nihasam. My Shna the Shavki Adahach. So mention it over there, right? Mention 5 seconds earlier. Why are you mentioning it now? Ella Tana Mirosh Hashanah Sag. Rather, we're going on that which was said in Rosh Hashanah. In other words, this is actually a good proof or a good raya for the order, right, that we have for the Daf Yomi, right, that following Rosh Hashanah, that we have Tainus, right? Tainus comes afterwards, right? Because other Masechtas, right, you notice in your Gemaras, it doesn't necessarily sometimes go in that order, right? So Ella Tainus Rosh Hashanah, the time we learn in the Mishnah, V'chagni Don Elamayim. During the holiday, which we mentioned in the beginning of the Masechta, during a holiday of Sukkot, then we are judged for water. And since we say over there that during the holiday, during Sukkot, we're judged for water, then we say, okay, from when do we begin to mention the Gvuras Gesham, right? The strength, the Gvura of Gesham. My Gvuras Geshamim. What is this lashon of gvura, right? This lashon of gvura that was said regarding the rain. Just say, from when do you mention rain? What's this gvuras gesham? So Rabbi Yochanan mipnei sheyardin begvura, because it comes down, right? It comes down in gvura, right? It comes down in what's it called? Strength, force. Right, and therefore it's that we mentioned in Gebush. And Amar says Oisa Gedulos and Cheker v'nifos ad ein mispar. So it says he does the Gedulos is great, these mighty deeds, right, without any comprehension, and his nifos ad ein mispar are too many to count. V'ksiv, and it says the next pasuk. So that is pasuk. Reads the pasuk over here. That was an Eov, and the next pasuk it says. And so he does all these wondrous acts which are beyond comprehension. And then the next pasuk says, and then it mentions the next pasuk about rain, right? The rain comes on the land, right? He sends water to all the distant fields. So therefore we see that raining is considered to be something which is without comprehension. So my mashma, Rav Rashiva, Asya Cheker Cheker Rabbi Yosef Shalom, because we learn Gzer Shabbat Cheker Cheker from the creation of the world. Ksiv Hakat says there, it says there, as we just brought, right, regarding rain, right, which was this next pasuk. It says that he does gedulos and cheker. Ksiv Hasam, it says over there in Yeshaya describing the regarding the Bria Sodom. Haloyados imashemata okay olam Hashem borei ksais haaretz lo yaif lo yagia ein cheker lo tvunasa. So it says over there, right. That did you know, right? That Hashem created the world, right, without end. He didn't get tired. He wasn't, wasn't too much, right? There is, it was without, and his knowledge is without comprehension. We can't, understand that. Uksiv, it says over there, Meichin Harim B'Kaicha Neza B'Gvura. It says over there, and he set the mountains, right, with his strength, with the Gvura. So you see over there that it says cheker over there when it comes to creating, right? It says it comes to creating the world, creating the mountains. It says cheker. And it says cheker when it comes to having it rain, right? So therefore, and since over there, both of them are cases of gvura, we link it with gvura. So therefore, the creation of the world is with the gvura. So too, the rain comes big gvura.
all the way up to say, why say Gemara by it?
Right, by our Mishnah. So,
that connect to each other.
but rain is considered to be something which is gevura. It's not stam, right? Rain, we take it for granted because it rains often, but just as powerful as strength.
So it's forceful in the limit.
Right. Well, right.
So forceful is good, but
right, it has to be the proper gevura. Right, yeah, it has to be the proper gevura, and right, we take it for granted. But just like my separation was big gevura, so too the matar and the rain also is big gevura. And how do we know we do it during tefillah? The Tanya in our Bais that says it says to love Hashem, right? To serve with all your hearts. What is considered to be the avoda, the work that is done with the heart? That's referring to tefillah. Basin says next passage, and I will put the rain in your land, your malkosh, that it should rain, right, in its proper times, right? The early rains and the late rains, everything should come in its proper times. So it says over there, avoda shabalev, right? And then during the avoda b'shalev, it says he will give rain, right? So therefore, we ask for rain during the avoda shabalev, and therefore we ask for rain during tefillah. And Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Gimel Maftechas b'yad shel Hakadosh Baruch Hu shelo nimsara b'yad shaliach. There were three keys that Hakadosh Baruch Hu still has in his hand, which he did not give over to shaliach to do. And what are these? And these are the three Maftech shel Geshamim. Right, the key of Geshem, when it rains, it's Hashem making it rain. And also when a woman gives birth, right, it is from Hashem. And also, right, for the resurrection of the dead was also done by Hakadosh Baruch Hu himself without the shaliach. Maftech shel Geshamim, the Maftech shel Geshamim, you can see the pasuk says Yiftach Hashem l'chos Eitzro Atov Es Hashemayim L'seis Matar Etzacha B'ito. Right, it says over there that Hashem, in Dvarim, right, that Hashem will go ahead and open up his storehouse, his good, right, and he'll give rain to the land. So Yiftach Hashem gives the rain. And the pasuk says Vayiskor Elohim as Rachel, right, and Hashem remembered Rachel. Right, so in the parsha, right, Vayishma Allah, and he heard her crying out, her tefillos, Elokim, Vayiftach es Rachma, and he opened up her womb. So we see, right, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, he himself was involved.
Was read yesterday,
right?
So
yes, right.
We are behind one day, so
no, this is right. No, this is today. We had it yesterday, it's here today. And Maftech Shetchias Meisim, and the Tesh of the Meisim, and I Dechsi V'Yadatam Ki Ani Hashem V'Pisches K'Rosecha. I know that I Hashem who opens your kvarim, right? Your grapes. And from Rava and Eretz Army, they said, "Af Maftech Shel Parnasa." Even the key of Parnasa was also Hakadosh Baruch Hu controls the Parnasa. The Chsi Pesachas Yedecha, right? Because we learn from the pasuk Pesachas Yedecha must be Chai Ratza, pasuk until him. And Rabbi Yochanan, my time it looks chashiv. So Rabbi Yochanan, why did he only say 3 and not 4? Why did he not include Maftech Shel Parnasa? So lo chashav lahas. Geshem haina parnasa. Really, Geshem is the same thing as parnasa, the same Maftech, right? That which we give rain is really to allow the fields to go ahead and the crops to grow, which is parnasa. That's all involved in the same. Fine. So now let's get back to the machlokas. Okay, so we already established that we asked for. We mentioned right Mashi Baruch Regashem in Shemona Esrei. Right, and we do it. It was about machlokes as to when we do it. Right, we had the Mishnah first day of Sukkot or the end of Sukkot. Right, first day was, I believe, Rabbi Eliezer, and the second opinion was Rabbi Yeshua. Let's see. Zak the Gemara. So Rabbi Eliezer mehecha gamerla. Where does Rabbi Eliezer learn? Right, he says you do from the first day. So is it me lulav gamerla? Is he learning from the mitzvah of lulav? Oh, so the mitzvah of lulav, or did you learn it from when it's just like lulav, right? You're beginning and the beginning of Sukkot. So, or do you learn from Nisuchamayim? Also, the libations, the water they pour on the mizbeach, also at the beginning of the holiday. What's the nafkamina? Let's see. So Gamarla Milula. So Gamarla Milula Gamarla. So you learn it this way. Malula b'yayim afas karbiyom. Just like we mentioned, just like we do the mitzvah of lulav on the first day, so too we're maskir only the first day. Maybe you think, okay, well, Sukkah starts at night. We should maybe say mashiv ruach at night at Ma'ariv, right? So it says no during the day like lulav. Odoma v'nisachamayim Gamarla or nisachamayim. Man nisachamayim orsa. Nisachamayim can be done even at night. Amar. I mean chasam v'niskehem. Afilu b'layla. So we learn over there that it should be done even at night. And we know we draw the water there earlier, so it's the preparations are done. It can even be done at night. So too the mentioning of Mashiv Ruach potentially, if we learn from Nisachamayim, could also be done at night. So Tashma, come and listen. Dama Rabbi Yavo, Lo Lamdo Rabbi Eliezer, Ela Milulav. You only learn some lulav. And Ikadamri Rabbi Yavo Gemara Gemirla. Some say he had a tradition he was taught it. Ikadamri, some say Masnisa Shemila. He heard it from a brisa. So Mahi, and what would that brisa be? The tiny learner brisa, Memas Amaskir and Gesham. But when do we go ahead and we mention Geshamim? When do we mention Mashiv Ruach? Rabbi Eliezer Omer Mishas Natilas Lulav. From the time you take the lulav, you take the lulav the first day. And Rabbi Shua Omer Mishas Hanachaso. Right? Rabbi Shua says no. From the time that you put down the lulav. Right? In other words, you have the lulav throughout Sukkot. You put away the lulav. Once you put away the lulav after the last day of Sukkot, next day Shemini Atzeres. So the next day, since we put away the lulav, now it's time to say Mashiv Ruach Amir Dagash. Amar Eliezer, however, Arbas meaning Halu Eina Bayin El Ratzes Elamayim, and says Rabbi Eliezer, since the purpose of the Dalamim is also to come and request and for water, Ukshem Sha'arba meaning Halu Ef Sharbahem B'Lomayim, and just like you can't have these 4 species right without rain because they grow from the ground which needs the rain. So to the world is impossible to have without water, and therefore we link it to lulav. You bring out the lulav, you bring out Mashiv Ruach Rigash. But it's not a good simon. It's a simon klala to have it rain on Sukkot. So why are you doing that? So I never said be shoyal. We don't say give us. We're not asking right now. We're mentioning it. Maskir. And just like by right, we mention every single day, right? That we mention Tchias Mason every day. So, but nevertheless, it's only coming during its bismana, right? During its right time. So too, we should be maskir. We can be maskir. Because the shavim the entire year.
Know the right time for rain. We don't know necessarily the right time.
So the Gemara is going to ask her. And therefore the Gemara's Geshavim can be mentioned, and it's only come during this battle. Therefore, therefore, in theory, if you want to go ahead and be maskir for rain the entire year, maskir, right? You can. And Rabbi Omer says, Rabbi Omer ani misha shemafsik lishola kach mafsik laskar. Right? Once you stop asking, that's when you're stopping maskir. Now, you don't say kol shana kula, since we stop asking for at the beginning of Pesach, so therefore you're stopping maskir at that point. And Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira Omer, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira says another opinion: b'sheni b'chag maskir. The second day of the holiday, that's when we're maskir, right? Not the first day, the second day. Rabbi Kiva Omer b'shishi b'chag, on the 6th day of Sukkot, we mention it, who maskir. And Rabbi Yehuda Mishum Rabbi Shua Omer ha'over lifnei ateva b'yoyin teva achron. One says Rabbi Shua, which we saw this sheet earlier. Rabbi Yehuda Mishum Rabbi Shua says that one goes lifnei ateva b'yoyin teva achron shel chag, on the last day, i.e. Shmini Atzeres of chag. Ha'achron maskir v'arishon and maskir. The last one is maskir, and the first one is not. And beyond Tavarishon shel Pesach, when it comes to continuously saying Mashiv Ruach Rigashim during Pesach, so therefore the one who gets up Rishon shel Pesach Harishon maskir, the Baal Shachris goes ahead and says Mashiv Ruach. However, Ha'achron ain't a maskir, but the last one does not maskir. So the Gemara says, going back to what we said earlier. Shapir Kamerle Rabbi Ezra Rabbi Shua. Rabbi Ezra said they had a good proof to Rabbi Shua. Rabbi Ezra earlier said, "Well, what's the big deal about being maskir? We're maskir tchias mesim, right, throughout the year. So why can't we be maskir, Mashiv Ruach at the beginning of Sukkot?"
Because of that statement that you could say Mashiv Ruach all year long. That's the reason why it's not announced from the Bima that you stop saying.
No, because Nusach Svar, that's true. Because Nusach Svar, they say what's it called? They say
Moriatal.
there is something to be masked here. You can't nothing. No, so therefore, if Nusach Svar mentions, because there is what to mention, but you can't right. There is no clap to say don't say nothing.
Don't say.
Right. So therefore, that's right. Right. But anyways, the Gemara says, "I shall become a Yeshua." So the Yeshua. So it says Yeshua. Bish lamat chias meisim masker. No, actually, it makes sense. You can say chias meisim, right? Alan was pointing this, mentioned this earlier. Right. Bish lamat chias meisim masker. The kula yom is manihu, because every day is potential to be chias meisim. So I should be masker today. It should be bismano, right? Perhaps it's today's bismano. I just don't know, right? Hakadosh Baruch Hu knows, but so I could say it today. Ela geshamim. Right, whatever comes, you're going to say it's during its right time. But tonight we go to Mishnah Yatsa Nisan v'Yardu Gesham Siman Klala. Right, when Nisan ends, right, and it rains, it's a Siman Klala. Shnei the pasuk says Halek Tzir Chitim Hayam Mechule. So it says over there, right, that I guess during the time of the harvest, right, where it's not, where it shouldn't be raining. And so we mentioned Rabbi Yehuda B'Meseir Aimer the Sheni B'Cha. So he said on the second day. We mentioned Mashi Baruchim Regashim, the second day of Sukkot. Why is that? My time of the Rabbi Yehuda B'Meseira. The time of the Rabbi Yehuda B'Meseira, Omer Nemar B'Sheni V'Nis Kehem. Right. So we talk about it by when it mentions the Nesach, then it brought on Sukkot. Right. It says V'Niska, but however, in the second day it says V'Nis Kehem. Right, an extra mem. Right. Right? Right? With the extra yud. And says Kamishpat says Kamishpatam with an extra mem. Hare mem yud mem. Right? Mem yud mem. Hare kan mayim. And that is the mem yud mem, right? Spells out mime. So mekan remez the nisachamayim minatar. From here we see this is the remez, the hint to nisachamayim minatar from these extra letters.
Yeah, but you don't get the second mem until the seventh day.
True.
No,
So
I know.
maybe you should
Okay.
say,
So my shna, so it goes to my shna b'sheni nakat. The remizi, right? So why the second day? Right? So he says no, but since it starts, the first remez of is on the second day. Right. Therefore, on the second day will be masker. We'll go ahead and we will we'll begin that. And Rabbi Kiva Imer, the Shishi Mechago Masker. Rabbi Kiva says on the sixth day, we mentioned him, Shinamar, it says, but Shishi, it says on the sixth day, it says with an extra yud, or plural. Right? One is referring to wine, which is stated, and the other one's referring to water. So therefore, you do both. And since it mentions it on day 6, that's the day where it says right? So therefore, the next one is that day. Maybe both of them are referring to this 2 wine libations, right? They're both Nisach Hayayin, and it's not a reference to Maim at all. So like Reuven Beseira, he actually holds like Reuven Beseira that we said earlier, right? The Mem Yud Men, the Omer Ramizi Maim, that's a hint to water. So the Gemara says, Isav like Reuven Beseira, if he holds like Reuven Beseira, that's a hint to water, name it Kavase, he should hold like him, that you start on day 2. So Rabbi Kiva, since it's really the yud, the extra punch, the 2 nesachim, right? The nisachamayim and nisachayayin is both on day 6. Therefore, yes, even though the remez started on day 6, but since we have it started on day 2, but since day 6 was where it says nisacheha, the plural of 2 libations, so therefore that's the day we're going to start with mayim. All right, we're going to start here, but Ozzy wants to make a quick siyum for